All right, so I'm making this video to document a potential systemic issue in the e-bike space. Let me know in the comments if this extends to you, if you have any similar experiences. Because at this point, I can't just ignore it anymore. I have 3 friends with e-bikes, and 2 of them have been experiencing more problems than they should, mostly around their battery. So the 2 bikes at question here are the Onyx RCR, an expensive high-end bike, and then the Rave Bullet GT. The latter is less than 1 year old, and the Onyx RCR, my friend bought it in November 2021. And they're both experiencing mostly similar issues. So the Onyx RCR, my buddy hasn't been able to ride it for the past about 6 months because the battery would randomly die. So the way he described it to me is that he would fully charge the battery, take it out for a spin, it will work, turn on, but after like a mile, something extremely short, without warning, the bike just shuts off and dies. And he thinks the trigger is when he gives it more power. So he turns on the throttle because leaving the driveway at slow speeds, it's fine, it works. But when he wants to pull a bit more power from the battery, something trips and the whole thing shuts off. And the Rave Bullet GT has similar issues with the bike randomly dying without warning, way before it should. Again, this bike is just a couple of months old. In addition to that, before he had this problem, there was performance issues. I think his maximum speed for a while now was just like 22 miles per hour. And that bike should be getting and was getting about 28, 30 miles per hour when it was new. Now, we don't know exactly what's wrong with these bikes or if the issue is similar between the two. Please chime in the comments below, but if I had to guess, I think it comes back to the battery. And more specifically, again, if I had to guess, I think one of the cells within their batteries are unbalanced. This is something that could happen with lower quality batteries. And essentially, when you have battery cells that are not balanced, the battery, it behaves funny. It doesn't fully charge, it doesn't fully discharge. The BMS, which is the battery management system, that should prevent this from happening. If it does happen, it can confuse the system and cause the battery to randomly shut off when you demand power from it. And this represents the larger issue that I'm afraid might be systemic within the e-bike world right now. Please let us know in the comments below if you've had similar battery degradation issues on your bike. Now again, battery degradation over time is a completely natural thing. What my friends are experiencing of just getting a mile and the bike randomly shutting off when it's just a couple of months old, that should not be happening. Because a legit high quality battery should be, there's 3 major pillars here. It should be composed of high quality name brand battery cells that are tested, proven. 2, they should be assembled in a facility that's certified with people that know what they're doing, so they properly wire everything together. And 3rd is the BMS, the battery management system. It's a little chip that regulates the battery. It should keep everything healthy when charging, discharging. But a cheap battery might cut corners in one of these areas, which could lead to these problems that 2 out of my 3 friends are experiencing. And I get it from the perspective of bike manufacturers. With any electric vehicle, by far the most expensive single component is the battery. If I'm not mistaken, on a Tesla, the battery is over 1/3 of the total cost of manufacturing. So the temptation to cheap out and get a battery that's good enough and half the price, it's certainly there. But personally, I've never experienced the issues before because I build my own bikes and I know exactly what battery I'm buying. I don't cheap out. For example, these batteries here performing just great 6 months in. Of course, there's like a little bit of degradation in the range, but it's very minute at this point in the life cycle of the bike and the batteries. But I know for a fact that, because I custom ordered these batteries, that these are Samsung 50S battery cells. They're assembled here in the United States, and they're using a high quality BMS at 60 amps. That's also why I'm not a huge fan of these newer bikes we're seeing on the market that are cheap, they're at their budget, but they have huge batteries. Because essentially what the company is doing is they're cheaping out on every component of the bike and buying the cheapest, largest capacity battery they can. But again, let us know in the comments, is this an isolated thing, or have you noticed similar extreme battery degradation in your bikes after less than a year of ownership? I will say that both of my friends have allowed their bikes to die a couple of times, which isn't the best thing ever for the health of the battery. Again though, ideally if it's a quality battery, the BMS should kill the battery before it's actually dead to preserve its health, its lifespan. But if these companies are not using good battery BMSs, it won't provide you the same level of safety. And even regardless of that, you still don't want to ride the bike until it dies. And both of my friends experiencing these issues have done that more than once. So yeah, I just wanted to report this issue. I don't want to ignore it, toss it under the rug, but it could be an isolated thing. However, I'm concerned that it might not be isolated, because I know for a fact that just about every bike there is, especially the batteries in the bikes, are produced in China, and to reach affordable price tags with all the features people want, the incentive to cut corners is there. So yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you guys are still watching, I appreciate a like, it helps with the algorithm. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.